I have 6 cubes. You can get these from the Dollar Tree. They come 3 in one pack, and they measure 1.5 by 1.5 inches. And I'm going to start by drilling a hole in the center of each of my cubes. Now, if you do not have a cordless drill and you want to skip this step, that is totally fine. It is not necessary to complete this project. After I have a drill in each one, I'm then going to take a piece of sandpaper and just lightly sand and get away any of the splintered wood that can happen when you drill. I'm going to be painting these with 3 different colors. My first color is Wise Owl Joshua Tree, and I did 2 of the cubes in this color. Then I did the next 2 in some Wise Owl Fireside. And the last one, I decided to put the end of a paintbrush in the hole, and this was much easier to hold. And I painted that in some Wise Owl Higgins Lake. All paint products can be found on our webpage at chalkitupfancy.com. And I want to allow everything to fully dry. I'm then going to take a piece of blue painter's tape, placing this sticky side up, and I'm going to place down the word gather. Now you could pick any word of your choice, and I'm going to paint that with some Wise Owl Snow Owl. If you want to do a longer word, you will need more cubes. Next, I'm going to take a smaller drill bit and I'm going to drill a small hole at the top of each of my cubes. I have a skinny dowel here, and I just want to make sure the dowel can sit inside that drilled hole. I'm going to cut my dowel into 6 small pieces, making 3 a little shorter than the other 3. Now again, if you do not have a drill gun, I'm sure you can recreate this without drilling the hole at the top. I'm going to use some hot glue, and I'm going to glue the end of one dowel and stick it inside the hole. And I have a hammer here to make sure that it is in there pretty good. Now when I drilled this hole, I want to make sure I'm not going through the cube into the other drilled hole. It's just a very small hole depth so that the end of the dowel can just sit in there nicely. And I'm holding the dowel in with some hot glue. Next, I have this wired cord. It almost has like a paper lining to it, but there's a wire inside, and I'm going to wrap that around the dowel, holding each end in place with some hot glue. I'm going to leave some a little long and wrap it around my paintbrush to get a little squiggly. Now these are supposed to be the stem of a pumpkin, and then it has the little curly thing, like the curly vine. I'm then going to glue a letter onto each cube, and I'm just adhering that with some hot glue. You can also use some E6000. And then to finish this off, I'm going to take a piece of jute, and I have 5 white beads that I'm going to be using. I'm going to place a piece of tape at the end of the jute. This is just going to make stringing it through the holes a little easier. And starting all the way to the right cube, I'm going to string my jute through the first cube and follow it with a white bead. Then I'll string it through the second to last cube and follow that with a white bead. And I did this until I had the jute through all of my cubes with a white bead in between each one. Now I do want to make it so that it's a little tight before I tie the end knot in the jute. And that's all I did to finish it off, was tie a knot on both the right and left ends. And then I just cut the remaining jute so that it was just a small little piece hanging off. And then there you go. Now you have this very easy gather pumpkin shelf sitter. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Paint products, tissue paper transfers, and mesh stencils can all be found on our webpage at chalkitupfancy.com. And don't forget, you can also check out other tutorials over on our webpage. Have a great day.